There are very few text-based adventure games around now, mostly because graphics have got easier to design and computers have just got better at displaying them. Back when we had the joyful years of the BBC Micro, making graphics was really hard. Nowadays it isn't. I actually have for you a gem of a text-based adventure game called My Name is Tara Sue by indie musician supremo Dr. Carmilla, and it's available on her website. It's tarasue.drcarmilla.com, and you should be able to see that in the address bar because this game runs in browsers, following the tradition of the new browser games we're seeing a lot of. On the surface, this game seems really, really simple. So your name is Tara Sue, you're 25 and work in an office. Admittedly, your life could stand to get a little more interesting. Now, the way to progress in this game is simply to click the highlighted bits of text. This game is actually really interesting because it does focus on something you don't see very much in adventure games: simplicity. Now, we're going to go for something a little bit more interesting because I actually have done the Office one, and it's very clever how it sort of blends the mundane and the extraordinary. So we have a somewhat strange email awaiting us. I always want to know about my sister. She's very, very, very annoying. So here we go. This is totally different to the adventure I was on last time. Last time that actually involved me getting ill and nearly puking up everywhere. So let's go on a bit of an ARG adventure. And what I love here is the concept of choice. There are often times where it uses these highlighted bits of text to create this feeling of no choice. In a situation like this I have now, I just have, I have no other choice. And it has this great effect. Rather than running through automatically, it forces you to accept that that is your only choice. And for certain plot elements, that gives this really great feeling of powerlessness. Oh, that's something I didn't expect to happen. Let's make up a good excuse. Oh, I might have sort of wandered back into the other thread. Ah. Wow, that's kind of cool. Okay, that was surprising me then because, as I said, whilst I ran through this game, when I was sort of testing it before I filmed, there was the thing of the being ill. Most of this stuff, like you ask your boss if you could go home as you're unwell, reluctantly he lets you go home, led into a different story. So that's actually kind of clever. There is this idea of recycled text that lets you flow very easily between various things. That's what I really like about how this game is written. And I've actually seen her Facebook about how she built this slowly. And there's a lot of writing here, a lot of very clever use of text. So I should probably call her because, you know. Ah, okay. Oh, fourth wall, what would we do without you? So the joy of all games like this is the text, and it's beautifully written. I haven't seen a comma out of place, which is fantastic. If you're going to make a text-based game, the text has to shine. Ah, that's something else I already had last time, the taxi. Yummy. Again, that thing of there was only the one choice. It's this great feeling of powerlessness from the lack of choice, and it's handled really well. The most annoying thing in games where you choose your own adventure is when you're forced to do something very stupid because that's the only way to make the plot progress. Alan Wake had that for me. That's one reason I really dislike Alan Wake and I really dislike Bioshock, actually, is because you're forced to do idiotic things which are, so if you have any grasp of what's going on, are pointless because the game needs you to do those to progress its plot. Here she's used them very effectively, so you never feel like you're being forced to do something because the author couldn't think of a second option. Eject the contents of my stomach over everywhere. Ooh, blood. Probably from Manchester, of course, from England, so. On the phone, you're sick. So that's a run through of My Name is Tara Sue. That's really interesting. There are 10 endings. Now, I'm going to be honest, that's actually the ending I got last time. Now, that's really interesting because I started off on the other angle. I started off with the kidnapping and I ended up going through to the office vomiting thing. So that's kind of neat. I'm really surprised how well these blend together. When I played this first time, I'm going to admit, I thought that they were sort of very distinct threads. That it's very much like a flow diagram, but it's actually not, so it seems to blend together. Should we have another go? Go on. Let's go through another ending for you. Let's see if we can get a different ending. I'm going to go totally against what I did last time. So let's go from getting my life more interesting. My office. Stupid emails. Wonder why I still work here. Isn't there more to life? Aww. Captain Cat. She's also a cat. Oh, I must say I have met the good doctor in person and she has a wonderful sense of humour and that really is conveyed here. Okay, I'm simply going to pass out. Oh, wow. Okay, that is definitely not an ending I was expecting to see coming. Wow. There are very few moments doing this, and in any of the videos I've done for this channel or a couple of other channels I've worked with, have I... Wowza. Wowza, wowza. Okay, wow, I did not see that coming. That is really well written. I'm trying to think of where I'm actually processing. It's rare that I have to process doing this, but that's really well written. Applause, applause. Again, that's what I love about this. If you're going to do a text-based game, totally text-based, have good text. I mean, we have this lot of talk about going back to retro graphics. I know a lot of people go for the 8-bit or the 16-bit retro aesthetic. This is as retro as they come, and it's used beautifully. It never feels like it's not used. It's being used because the author couldn't program anything else. It feels it's used for a very deliberate reason. One more go. One final go. That ran quickly. Wow. So that's a really powerful ending. One said I have not... There are very few times I do this. I become speechless, and I become speechless for a good reason. That is actually speechless for a very good reason. Let's go more interesting again. Strange email. Let's go back through what we know. Let's look for the note. Let's get fired. Oh. Game maker person. Oh, I do love these little asides. This is what I really like. It's actually a lot of the text captures a wonderful thought process that really helps you be into the character's shoes. Try calling her again. See, look again, we're seeing these like little hints. I love this. This is sort of wonderful multiverse theory that really sort of hammers home on a central message. There is that central message here that life is a group of small choices, and small choices have ripples, and the bigger the ripples, the bigger the choice, and those ripples bounce in ways you can never predict. Shit. I could have cast haste on myself. Ah, 5 mark a video game. Oh, I'm getting ill again. But I'm outside now. The tip. Oh, that's glorious. Focus on getting to the cafe. Tara. Okay, now I'm going to fight myself down there. Refusing. Epilogue. Ooh. See, here again, we haven't seen these forced choices. Ah. Wow. Okay, that. All the slow claps go to you, Miss Camilla. That was really, really fantastic. I could sit here playing this and commenting on it all day, but we're going to be getting the same sort of things appearing. Wonderful. If you get a chance to play this, and you do have a chance, this is available, set online for free, gratis. Go down and play it. It'll run on anything. You could probably get this to run on your dog. This is fantastic. Every single way, I'm going to be honest. My whole campaign for games and narrative that fits, that isn't dissonant, starts here. This is my crowning jewel. The thing I'm going to compare everything else against now. Because that plot was wonderful, and that shows you can have an arcing plot with choice that does not have to revolve around forcing a player. While there is that force and that leadingness, you never felt, or I never felt, especially playing that I was being forced. I only felt being forced in sort of logical times. Like when you're falling over, being sick in that last one, you'll feel forced, but that's very accurate to life. You're forced for dramatic reasons, but you're never forced to make big, stupid choices. When there was the option to drag myself up or call the ambulance, I was given that choice. That gave me a feeling of very human emotion, very human power. And so I just love this whole idea that life is small choices and we have these options that sort of go against each other. There is the mundane and the fantastic and the strange linking of the two. Even the fantastic there did end on this not mundane, but very domestic note. And this captures human emotion perfectly. Really, really perfectly. So basic human emotion conveyed well through a very good game system. What more could you want? So that's My Name is Tara Sue at tarasue.drcarmilla.com. Go have a look at it. Go just look and play and see what narrative in a game really can